Hello, welcome back to Podcast vs. Player episode 73. I'm Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who treats his women like he treats his video games. No, he doesn't take them on magical journeys filled with thrilling adventures and mystical collectibles. He finds out all their secrets and beats them. It's only bloody Dan.
Hello.
Oh, I got through it.
Well done. That was a long one.
It was.
I felt the strain.
It was worth it though.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Episode 73. Coincidentally, Calum's birth year.
No. It's really not. 72. How are you, sir?
Good. Still recovering from the weekend, but good.
Yeah, it was a long one. I actually fell asleep at a stellar 11:30.
Woof! Wow, bloody hell. Whilst playing Conker.
Whilst Stan was trying to play Conker, failing miserably.
I didn't take into account the shitty N64 controls. Should have realised that was going to be a big issue. But
this is a first, Dan, where we've planned a time, we've done it, we've sat in the hub, we shall call it, and we actually worked. We did work.
We did something, but
I
wouldn't necessarily call it work. I get paid to work.
We amounted to something.
It was productive, shall we say?
Yeah, we did a productive evening.
Yes.
And then Microsoft and Nintendo fucked it up the next day, but we've got past it. Now it's podcast season.
Yeah.
And
so I take it you've got some good podcasting for us.
I've got some podcasting. Whether it's good or not, it's debatable.
Well, I'm pretty sure you could say that about the other 72 previous episodes, or 71, because that's all we've done.
Oh yeah, we had the secret hidden episode. DLC, microtransactions.
Yeah, for £10 you can hear the forgotten podcast.
Anyway, speaking of money, let's do some news. You haven't got to pay me. This was actually an actual link.
Oh, right.
The new Hitman movie comes up short with just 3 million on Friday's opening.
Whoa, 3 million?
Yeah, considerably worse than Fantastic Four.
Fucking hell. Well, I mean, that opened on what? It was 26 or something on its first day?
14, I think it was.
Oh, on the first day, right, it must have been 26 for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
For the full opening.
But
weekend.
3? I mean, surely that's a signal enough that people don't want Hitman films, they want Hitman games.
Yeah. Not only is the new video game movie Hitman Agent 47 being blasted by critics, but it's also not posting the strong box office performance that Fox would have wanted. Box office numbers for Friday are in, and Agent 47 came in 4th with 3 million. Hollywood Reporter notes this is below projections, obviously. The movie is expected to make around 8 million for the entire weekend.
Oh, Christ, what a wound!
So that's both Fantastic Four and Hitman Agent 47 for Fox. They've both massively underperformed.
Ouch.
Good news, the next Hitman game, which has nothing to do with the movie, which was announced at E3, is due out later this year for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC across digital channels.
Yeah. What do you want to bet that pre-orders alone is more than 3 million?
I would bet 3 million that the pre-orders are higher.
Yeah. I mean, Hitman Absolution was a good game.
Yeah, it wasn't the best Hitman game, but it was a good game nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Hitman fans, and obviously the hardcore, was saying, it's not as open world, it's not this, it's not that. And I do agree, it's not the same as the originals. However, this wasn't a standard Hitman game. It wasn't Hitman assassinating contracts given to him by the agency.
Yeah.
It was a personal mission. So they're deviating away from... Well, sorry, they did deviate away from the standard Hitman game.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that the next one may be a return to form.
They've already said it's going to be basically the likes of Blood Money, Contracts, Silent Assassin, etc., fused with the engine of Absolution.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all it was for me, really. It was a very good graphical step for Hitman. And, some of the mechanics and things
it looked amazing.
It was pretty good. It's like the sort of the Hitman detective vision thing was useful, but it was just a Batman kind of rip-off, really.
Hitman's not an easy game, and it gave you so much more chance to sit there and not necessarily plan what you're doing, because that's what you should be doing on a Hitman game. Is lots of planning.
Yeah.
But you could go, like on Blood Money, you could go around a corner and be like, oh, fucking hell, somebody there. And then you've either got to think quick or just get out. Whereas this, you could just go up to the corner, use your fucking Hitman vision, and be like, oh, someone there, I'll go the other way.
Yeah, it's a very... You've really got to use your brain on it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one still was to an extent, but not to this... You weren't... There was a lot of variety, but...
It was too scripted for my liking.
Yeah, not as much as people would prefer.
No.
But
it was good, though.
Yeah, I still liked it, so I'm glad I paid for it. But I am looking forward to the next one, because I think that the sort of the general consensus was it's not as good as the second one, but it looks better than all of them.
Yeah.
So all they need to do is
just... still my favourite.
Yeah, just step it back to the sort of the open world, free, give them all the crazy environmental weapons and all that sort of stuff, but you need big open maps.
You need choices.
Absolutely, yeah.
Give them a choice to take care of your target, rather than going, you can either do it this way, you can do it that way, and that's it. Or in some of the levels, you didn't get a choice.
Well, yeah, that is true. But you put it up against the majority of similar genre games, you probably still get more choices and variety out of Absolution than you would, say, out of Assassin's Creed, for example's sake.
Yeah,
it's
that is more story driven.
Come from the ground.
Yeah, still better. It's still better than Assassin's Creed.
Well, they're still assassins at the end of the day, so.
Agent 47 is batter SEO. Hard as fuck.
I didn't say you wouldn't, but I'm just saying that they're both assassin games. It's just that one's very... You've got Assassin's Creed, which is kind of, parkour, history, boat-based assassinations, and then you've got Hitman, which is kind of gadgets, setup, and, a lot of variation and choice kind of assassin game. Yeah. And I know which one I prefer.
Hitman.
It's... I'd like to garrote people and drag them off and then dress up in their clothes.
Yeah, it's like... It's not realistic, but realistic, you know what I mean? Whereas, like, people see Ezio climbing, jumping around and stuff, and then they don't see him because he's standing in a crowd of 3 people.
Oh yeah, you can jump off the top of a roof and land into a box of...
hay.
Yeah, just a box of hay, and he's absolutely fine, and just shakes it off and no one notices.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Hitman is out later this year. I recommend people get it because it's got nothing to do with the film.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed. I will watch it, but I'll wait till it comes on Sky or something.
Yeah, you'd be waiting a while. Well, maybe you won't be waiting a while. They may just push it straight out.
Straight to DVD.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not I wasn't excited from the first trailer.
No.
We sat... I think we spoke about it on one of the old podcasts.
Yeah.
Didn't look good anyway. Well,
no, it's because, it's big explosions and big cities, and he's running around shooting people, and things are blowing up, and it's just like, well, that's not the point of a Hitman.
Yeah, it's...
The point of a Hitman is you don't know he's there until you die.
And even then you don't. You don't know he's there.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the Silent Assassin achievement, or whatever it was, is you get in, you kill whoever it is, and then you get out, and no one even knows you were there.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect trademark of the
we said
perfect
before,
assassin.
A Hitman film should be boring.
Yeah.
Lots of planning, lots of probably talking to himself, talking to a canary. Just fucking... Basically, the whole film should be a build-up. And an end. Pretty much. But nobody wants to see that, really.
No. Maybe that's on the bonus features for this one. How this would have played out in the game.
Yeah.
And it's another 2.5 hours and he's just sat in a field and just scribbling notes down, and then he goes and beats up an ice cream truck driver.
And just walks around selling ice cream. Or drives around, as you probably would.
Well, the thing is, though, like, no matter what costume he puts on, this is what always got me. I mean, you see him in Absolution, like, topless, which is like the first time I think you see him topless.
Yeah.
And he's ripped.
Yeah. Which he should be.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Well, he's meant to be like the perfect...
Yeah, he's like
assassin, isn't he?
Yeah, genetic perfect specimen of, ass kickery. And yet, you put on a gardener's outfit, and everyone's just like, morning. It's just like, Christ, that gardener looks a bit fucking ripped. I didn't realise we had anyone out here who could bench press a car. On the back of his head, yeah.
That's another thing with he never wears a disguise that covers up his tattoo.
Well, it's always hats, isn't it? And
Yeah, but they're always really small hats that don't even conceal his baldness.
Well, how many people do you genuinely turn around and look at the back of the head?
It depends.
If he's blended in, you've got no reason to turn around.
If you're walking past like security for some big firm, not firm, but some big guy who possibly could be assassinated because he's that big of a target, big enough that he's hired security, they should be checking everyone out.
Well, if he's a good assassin, he wouldn't even go for the security checkpoint, would he?
No.
He'd have a little remote control wasp bomb that he'd just fly in and blow the room apart.
If he's got that kind of shit, why don't you just use that to go in and kill
all the time for every assassination?
Yeah.
But
Just
then
sat there with his iPad.
He'd be Wasp Man though, wouldn't he? He'd be
That
like
sounds
Hitman
much
who
cooler.
just kills people with wasps.
Waspman 47.
Wasp
Anyway.
Man 47, yeah.
More news.
Hmm.
Xbox One backwards compatibility news delayed until this week.
Boom.
Earlier last week, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said Microsoft might announce the next batch of Xbox 360 games that will be playable on Xbox One through backwards compatibility. That's not going to happen now, though. I apologise, Spencer said on Friday over Twitter to a fan who asked if the news was still coming last week. Quote, looks like backwards compatibility news is delayed and will likely come next week. Again, sorry for the delay. At the moment, there are roughly, I think there's about 100 hoping to be out before the end of the year. But at the moment, it's only for Xbox One preview program members. So hopefully, come say November time, everyone will be able to play some old games.
Yeah.
I don't really care because I've got rid of all mine.
Yeah.
So I hope it gets delayed.
Downloads,
I hope it gets delayed forever because I've got nothing to fucking play.
Well, I've got plenty.
Well, that doesn't help me, Dan.
No.
Because you didn't buy Deadpool on Xbox, did you?
No, I got it for the PC like a smart kid.
Well, I refused to because it's full price again.
Well, of course it is. That's why I got it when it was like 15 quid or something.
I know. I'm a rookie.
But about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. So by that point, it was like 15 quid. Fuck me.
Yeah, it's like, I like Deadpool, but meh. And then I was just like, actually, this is pretty damn good.
I wish I bought it instead of fucking borrowing it.
Yeah.
Because I really want to play it again.
Well, it's like Fallout 3. Like I've started playing Fallout 3 again. Only because of Fallout 4.
And Shelter.
Well, yeah, and Fallout Shelter. But the thing is, though, I picked up Fallout 3, it must have been about a year or so ago, maybe a bit longer.
What?
No, I mean,
again.
picked it up to put it back
right,
in.
Okay.
So popped it in, loaded it up, and I was just like, God, this looks fucking awful. And I just couldn't get back into it. And then I think it's because I was with you over the weekend and we were playing loads of shitty 90s games that I put it back in. I was just like, it actually doesn't look that bad.
This looks amazing compared to Pro-Am 2.
Yeah. But it's just, like, I think it's just Shelter as well. It's just reinvigorated my entire sort of love for the franchise.
I got Fallout 3, like, when it came out. And I remember putting it on, and I remember it looked alright. It didn't look amazing, but I remember when I came out the vault for the first time, and he had like this really bright fucking light coming into your eyes as you were walking out and stuff, and just looking over at how shit everything looked. And it's just like, this actually looks amazing.
Man.
And then I played it a couple of years ago for the first time in ages. And I remember, like you, I thought, this hasn't aged that well. But then when I thought about it more, I thought, well, it never looked amazing anyway.
Well, it's
probably
one of those big open
well.
worlds, though. You know, it's quantity, not quality.
Yeah.
Graphically wise, you know, there's more to do, but obviously it all doesn't look as good as it should do.
Well, there is a mod for the PC version that enhances everything.
Well, that's the thing, you see, because my PS3 is just, I don't know.
You got it on PS3?
Yeah. I got it.
Wow.
I got it in like 2009 or something, whenever it came out.
Yeah, I didn't have a PS3 then.
I bought it from Asda off the chart shelf, so it'd have been about 40 quid.
Okay.
That's commitment, that is. But I put it in, and like, because my PS3 is a bit fucked and it just sort of reformats itself every now and then, which is amazing. I started from scratch, but I thought that's fine. I don't remember anything that happened anyway, and it would take some getting back into. So did all the start thing, the baby, and all that sort of stuff, and then got to the GOAT exam, and then I sat down at the desk, and it just didn't do anything. Like the teacher just stood there, and everyone started writing down on their papers, and I was just like, wait, what? Have I missed it? So reloaded it, went back in again, reloaded it, went back in again, and it just wouldn't. So I turned the whole thing off, restarted it, went back in, and it worked fine. But what I should point out though is that the first time it did it, I was just like, what the fuck? Oh, glitch or whatever. Went back and it did it again, and I was just like, no, and went straight on the PC and on Steam. And I thought, it's 14 quid, I'll just buy it again for the PC. Fuck it, why not? But there's actually a lot of people who reported compatibility issues between Fallout 3 and Windows 8, 8.1 and 10. So a few people have said, no, I bought it, it runs fine. So it looks like it's probably computer specific. So I'm not risking it simply for the fact that it was a glitch. So luckily it works absolutely fine now, about 12 hours into it or whatever, and there's no reoccurring issues. So
just wait until your PS3 reformats itself.
yeah, probably.
Then get it on Steam.
Well, no, because that's the thing. Like a lot of people are just, because the Fallout 4 is coming,
Yeah.
They just want to get back into it again. So I was just like,
because I got rid of all my Xbox 360 games. It was like 2 days before they announced the backwards compatibility, so that pissed me off. But there was 3 games I really wanted to keep just for nostalgia reasons, and Fallout 3 was one of them. And it's like, because of the announcement of Fallout 4, I was like, I really want to play Fallout 3. And I did look at it for PS3. It was just like, nah, fuck it. I've still got New Vegas on PS3, so I might start playing that again.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason I got it for PS3 in the first place is because I knew it would look better than the 360.
Yeah.
But it was the Game of the Year edition that I was looking at, and that was the one that seemed to have a mixed bag as to. I mean, everyone that said, "Oh, I bought it," they could have had a piece of shit PC.
It's true.
Or they might have had really good ones, and it just can't deal with it.
There should be I can't think what it's called, like a profile bit on Steam where you can actually input what you've got, so you could actually compare. If somebody's like, I really want to play such and such a game, so you just look at a review and then you can see their specs and go, oh, mine's better than that, or the same, or worse, and decide whether.
That's a really good idea, because I mean, it was on the Steam page. It said, note, there are compatibility issues with this game on any later versions than Windows 7.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit. Well, I could run it in compatibility mode, but I thought, well, I could just buy it, and then if it doesn't work, I'll just refund it. But if they've got it on the, from a business point of view, I'm looking at this and it says there's compatibility issues, and I go back and say, no, I want a refund, please. There's compatibility issues. It's like, we told you, no refund.
Yeah.
So I thought, fuck it, I'll try and get the PS3 version working. Luckily, it did.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I mean, I genuinely forgot how interesting and diverse everything was. And it's just like,
ace game.
Oh, I just love it. I just love it so much.
Well, I was actually talking about this today with my girlfriend, just on about what games are coming out this year, and obviously Battlefront and Fallout 4, Metal Gear, Tomb Raider, Hitman, Uncharted, remastered, which looks really good. They've rebuilt it.
Yep. And
there's like a PS4, PS3 comparison video, and they've done a really good job. I'm still going to wait though, until it's a bit cheaper. But I did say to her, I was like, I'm getting both anyway, it doesn't really matter. But if I can only have, for whatever reason, Fallout 4 or Battlefront, Fallout 4, and I'll get Battlefront after. Luckily, that's not the case. But
yeah, I don't know, because I mean, but I know that overall, I'd say that Battlefront is probably going to get more hours out of me than Fallout is.
See, I'd say Fallout.
Well, the thing is,
sunk a lot into 3.
Yeah, I know, but that's 80 hours of just sort of wandering around, and then once you've pretty much done that, you've done everything you can. Whereas, because Battlefront is basically a strictly multiplayer game, that's every single match will be different. Every single match you will suck. Every match you will be a hero, and you'll get to play Darth Vader, and you'll just be General Grunt number 2 who gets shot in the face every 20 seconds.
See, how it's going to probably go for me is every single match I will suck. Every single match I will suck. And I just think I'm going to get overall value for money. I think Fallout 4. I think Battlefront's going to be amazing, and it's going to be so much fun, and it looks just fucking awesome. But I'm also getting on PS4, and you're getting on PC.
I don't know why you're getting it on PS4. You absolute fucking spanner.
Because my PC will melt.
No, it won't. You just run it on a lower setting, you'll be absolutely fine.
There's no point then.
Well, no, it will still look as good.
No, it'll look better. It'll look better on PS4 than it will on a lower setting on my PC.
Yes, but if you buy it for the PC, when you eventually pull your finger out and buy a PC, it will be there automatically.
I'll just buy it again.
What, and then you lose all your progress?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, no, because it'll be a thingy account. You'll have to have a EA account. So you'll just sync it from that.
Well, not if you've got DLC and stuff for it.
I think I'd buy DLC.
Well, what about if they come out and say we've got the prequel trilogy, like maps and characters and vehicles and stuff?
By that time, I'll have no PC.
No, I reckon this is going to be pretty damn DLC heavy, to be honest.
Oh, it will be, but nah. PS4.
No, how can we do videos on it if you're just a fucking scrub and get it on the PS4?
The same way that we'll do videos if I get it on PC. We won't be able to because it won't work.
Of course it'll work.
Poorly.
It won't. I bet you if you did one of the graphics setup test things, I reckon it'd be absolutely fine.
We'll do a can it run it test after this podcast.
Yeah.
And then we shall determine from there
whether it's worth it.
As to what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So check back in next week on the next podcast. We'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Because we won't have forgotten or anything.
No. Anyway, moving on. Yet more news for release date changes. You have one guess, Dan, as to what release date has been changed. That's not anything to do with backwards compatibility.
What is it? Game release date?
Film.
Oh, film release date. Yeah. Star Wars?
Nope. Batman vs Superman.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
Batman vs Superman release date has been changed. The superhero film market is going to become a crowded place as rival studios fight for key slots. Warner's much anticipated Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice has already shifted release dates twice, first from July 2015 to May 2016. Now, however, Dan, it's been brought forward to March 25th to avoid a clash with Marvel's Captain America Civil War.
Ooh.
So they've
good move.
So they've gone from the first date to later to earlier.
Well, that means they're just ahead of schedule then, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't mean that they're just rushing it out the door.
Well, Warner CEO Kevin somebody, because I can't say his last name, has spoken to The Hollywood Reporter about the decision to move the film to its current date and how it contributed to a disappointing summer gross sale for the studio this year. Quote, "It was a tough decision at the time because it was going to create a hole in 2015, but it was absolutely the right decision for the franchise and for the DC movie universe. Having seen the movie multiple times and again last night, I'm extremely confident it was the right decision to make the movie better, and so it's important for the studio to get the foundation right for DC."
Good.
So
that's a good argument.
Well, he also has got a big funding amount into this film, so he's obviously going to say it's amazing.
Well, true, but who is really going to be more critical of their own work than the people who made it? Because they're constantly going to be looking at it and just saying, "No, that's
Fantastic
bad."
Four.
Well, that's not just to one person, though. We've been over this.
I know.
It's still the studios that push it out. It's not just on the directors and stuff.
Yeah. I'm still optimistic for Batman, but not because I think Civil War is going to be better. I'm actually more worried about Civil War than I am of Dawn of Justice. But
yeah,
I do think if they both opened same day, I think Civil War would make the most money out of the two.
Yeah, because it's Marvel, and DC don't exactly have the best track records when it comes to releasing films, whereas Marvel has just hit gold with every single film that they bring out. But it's, you know, a lot of people can say that it's just because of the Marvel name, it's just because of the brand and the commercialism and stuff like that. And for the mainstream, I'd suggest that could be the case. You know, it is kind of, it sets the bar really, but everyone knows about it and everyone's an expert and a critic and blah blah blah. But the fact is, if you take all of that away, they're still really, really good films.
Well, they are, but if you showed somebody who is either too young or didn't really, not into comics and stuff, if you showed them a character like Ant-Man, say, prior to the film, I don't think anyone would know who he is. Realistically.
I don't think when they announced it in the
nobody knew
MCU
then.
Phase 2, no one knew who the fuck he was then either.
But it's the same with Guardians, and my father-in-law was round yesterday, and he had his partner's grandkids with him. And they're only young kids, and my son got his Rocket Raccoon toy out, and the little lad's going, it's Rocket. And it's like 2 years ago, no one would have any idea who Rocket was. Never mind, like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's the same for Doctor Strange, the same for the Inhumans. People, like, even Black Panther, I suppose, to an extent, because there's not really been much of it. Did they actually make a Black Panther film?
No.
No, I'm thinking of the Phantom.
Fuck me, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, bloody Billy Zane running about in the jungle. Jesus. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's not just because they're making film after film after film. Saw makes film after film after film, but they get progressively worse because it's just churning them out. Whereas every Marvel film that comes out, I watch it and I don't think, I watch it and I think, that's amazing. Yeah. It may not still stack up to something like The Winter Soldier or, you know, the first Avengers or something like that.
Winter Soldier's probably my favourite Marvel film to date.
I don't know, you haven't seen Ant-Man yet, and Ant-Man is pretty damn good.
Yeah, is it Winter Soldier good, though?
There's a few elements of it when I was just like, what? Oh my god! like I mean, the special effects are obviously more key in this than they are in pretty much any of the other ones, because it's, you know, everything he's in and around and surrounds is all pretty much special effects. But it's funny, it's a heist movie, so kind of think Ocean's 11, you know, mixed with Marvel. Yeah. You know, it's not just all-out action. It's, you know, it's stealth and infiltration and all these sort of things. And it's just an interesting new character to add into Civil War. And I cannot wait for them to mix it up. I really can't. I think it's going to be. I'd say, fuck it. I'm going to say it's going to be better than the Avengers. Both of them.
Well, I think Winter Soldier's better than both Avenger films. So if it's better than Winter Soldier, I will agree. Or at least if it's on par. I really enjoyed Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier, as a standalone film, it is the best Marvel film. I mean, Iron Man is pretty much it's like a 1.5. Iron Man is the first one.
Avengers is pretty much Iron Man 5.
Yeah. But I want Civil War because I know that it's going to be good, because they've done so much work to set it all up.
I hope it is, but it's a lot to cram into 2 hours.
Well, you could say that about the Avengers, though. You know, how many people would have said we want to get Thor, Captain America, Hawkeye, the Hulk, blah blah blah, all together on the film at one time, and everyone was like, no, we'll never. You've got, you know, look at Spider-Man 3. You've got too many people in the same film at the same time.
Yeah, but you had the Avengers had the luxury of having all the build-ups of the films, so all they had to do was go, there's an enemy that's too big for you to take on singly, so you're going to have to work together, essentially. That was the general gist of the plot. Whereas Civil War, like leading up to the comics, there's a lot of progression as to how they get to this stage, and this is literally, there's been none of that in the films.
But
a couple of snidey remarks.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a great Civil War interpretation. It's going to be a great film.
Oh yeah, they're not going to follow the comic. They can't follow the comic because of the mutants and stuff.
Yeah, no, they've done a hell of a setup for it, for like the Avengers and stuff like that. Applaudable, you know, they've completely done it right. Same with the second Avengers. I mean, the standalone films, with the exception of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, were subpar. But
good films.
But that's the thing, though. They're still good films. As a standalone
except
film.
Thor.
Well, the Dark World was definitely better than the first one.
I didn't. Yeah, it was better, but I still didn't like either Thor film.
No, it's weird though, because that should be, he's kind of the best out of all of them, really, with the exception of maybe the Hulk.
They I don't know what it is. Like in the Avengers, like I didn't like the first Thor film, and then he was perfect in the Avengers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was such a good Thor, and then I was so excited for Dark World, and it's like he's gone back to being like rubbish Thor.
It's kind of like the more powerful a being they are, the worse their films become.
Yeah.
So like Iron Man is just a guy in a suit, and the first one came out, and you're just like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then Captain America is just a guy with super soldier serum. They've just made him bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it works fine. Then the Incredible Hulk, and he's like, that's not so. It's better than the first Hulk. That's for damn sure. Edward Norton, brilliant actor, love him.
But it still.
And then Thor comes around, and you're just like, oh dear.
It's the same on the other end, though. You got Batman and you got Superman films.
Yeah, exactly. All Batman films, for the most part, brilliant.
Yeah.
Superman films, you got one, maybe two, and it's just the rest of the like, oh dear.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just harder to. I mean, I know it's harder to do them in games because if you've got a character like Superman who is invincible.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the same for Green Lantern. Like Green Lantern has the power to create anything, so
he makes a fist.
The fist, a baseball bat, and a gun. It's just like, really? This is the most imaginative thing you could really come up with? Seriously?
Funny little anecdote. Do you know who was originally meant to play Green Lantern instead of Ryan Reynolds? Jack Black.
Yeah, he's kind of the wrong shape, Jack Black.
So there you go. There's a little anecdote for you. But
yeah.
So Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice has been moved to an earlier date of March 25th, 2016. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, just after you've got over the hype of Star Wars Episode 7, you play the shit out of Battlefield for a few months, and then boom, Dawn of Justice.
But by the time you've turned off your PC, your Xbox, or your PS4, it's going to be time for Batman. Excellent. Anyway, our big story, Dan. Are you ready? Are you sitting? Are you comfortable?
Of course I am.
Nintendo patent application shows no optical disk drive in the new console.
Wow, an actual digital console. With the exception of Steam.
Well, yeah. Nintendo has filed a patent application for a console that has no optical disk drive, kicking up all sorts of speculation among enthusiasts of what the company's next piece of hardware could look like, or indeed do. The filing was actually made in February, was published on Thursday, and it's the schematic diagram shows a card slot in which a memory card containing programs is inserted. It also shows an internal hard drive and the means of connecting an external one. So
we're back to memory cards.
Is
it like a 25 game in one kind of thing?
Well, how much do you reckon DS cartridges cost to produce?
I don't know, 40p. It's just a basic PCB with a plastic case and a label.
Would you say that's cheaper than a Blu-ray disc?
Well, simply for the sheer mass of Blu-ray and DVD discs that are
no, if you could squash them down into a card.
What do you mean?
So you got all the space.
What, is there more space in a cartridge than there is on a Blu-ray?
No, but what I'm saying, if you could squash down the size of a Blu-ray, what a Blu-ray holds, because write speed, Blu-ray discs actually write slower than DVDs do. That's why you have to install PS3, PS4 and Xbox One games, because the games are too fast for the discs.
Yeah.
But if you could condense that size into a cartridge of some sort, or an SD card...
Well, yeah, there wouldn't be any loading.
Technically, yeah. It'd be seamless. But then again, they made this mistake with the N64, which obviously read faster than a PlayStation 1, but it couldn't hold as much data.
Yeah.
And it cost far loads more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, simply for the sheer production size that someone who makes DVD, they would manufacture billions a year, and yet how many people would buy Nintendo cartridges or N64 cartridges? They're only going to make the amount that they think they can sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you just make blank discs or whatever, you can just churn them out forever.
But as I speculated quite a bit ago when we first talked about the new Nintendo console, the NX, of it possibly being like a mobile console hybrid.
Yeah.
This could literally just be the bit where you would put like the 3DS games or whatever the handheld is at the time.
Yeah, I mean it'd be good because then they'd be following suit of the Steam boxes and the Nvidia Shield.
Yeah,
which just kind of embrace fuck the disk drive. We're just going to go for sheer power, and everything will be digital.
Yeah, off the shelf PC parts. Make it cheap to produce.
Yep.
Slap your name on it, sell it, bing bang boom.
Yeah, make it look fit as fuck.
One thing that would be cool though is if, when say you had the controller, if it was a controller, it might have a separate bit, but if you could connect like the handheld bit to the console and basically like nearly double the power, like a transformer.
Yeah, but I mean that basically means like splitting like half of your RAM, and because that means that it'd be like the Vita, but then when you connect it to a PlayStation 3, it becomes a PlayStation 4, and that just seems overly complicated.
Oh yeah, no, but I think it'd be cool as fuck.
Yeah, but that's not likely to happen. No. I mean, don't forget that they still didn't succeed as well as they wanted to with the Wii U in the first place, so they can't be taking too many big risks. I mean, for God's sake, the first thing you want to do, don't call it a Wii, don't call it a Wii anything.
No.
Just calling it a Nintendo. The NX is fine. NX is fine. That's cool. That's interesting. It's got an X in it. Radical 90s.
I can't remember what the prototype name for the Wii U was, but I remember it being a shitload cooler than Wii U.
Well, if it's like the Wii 2 or the Wii B or something like that, it's just like, stop. Steer away from Wii. People think Wii, they think kids games.
Yeah, that was why they made the Wii U, because they wanted to bring a more hardcore gamer back to Nintendo while still being friendly to people who enjoyed the Wii. But if they just called it something else, I guarantee it would have sold loads more. Guarantee it. Show off the games they showed, because everyone was still like, that looks dead good, like game wise and stuff, when they unveiled it. And then they're like, Wii U, and everyone's like, But as we've said before, a highly big percentage of people still think the Wii U is an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah.
After all this time, I actually saw an article the other day from like VG Charts. It was earlier today, sorry. And obviously they do like game sales charts and console charts, etc. And they did for the week PS4 versus Wii U sales comparison. It's like, there's literally no point. And then they're like, oh, and there was like 700 million, thousand, quadrillion, million, billion, zillion PS4 sold, 4 Wii U's. It's like,
well, everybody knows that.
Yeah, there's no point. That's just a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, Xbox and PlayStation, that's something that people want a live update on. They want it like on a counter, so that they can go and rub it in their mate's face whoever went and bought a PS4 or whatever. But Wii U and PS4, it's like, well, is Metal Gear coming out on the Wii U? No. Is Battlefront coming out on the Wii U? No. Is Fallout coming out on the Wii U? No. Then why are you making them still? Because that's what people want to play at the moment.
It's just, but the thing is, it's basically like obviously they're still selling Wii U's, but it's like comparing PS4 to a Mega Drive. Sorry, they've sold no Mega Drives this week. It's like, well, yeah, they don't make them anymore, and that's the way this is going.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just kicking a dead horse.
Yeah, they just need to break away from this sort of. I know they like to keep things traditional, and they like to keep milking the same cash cow of Mario and Zelda and all that again and again and again. But for God's sake, if you make a powerful digital console and say, this is a Nintendo, it's the Super Nintendo Extreme, so it's the SNES.
SNES.
and it looks just just it's green and glowing or blue and glowing and just pulsing and stuff like that. People would go, oh my god, is that from an alien starship? Yeah. It looks amazing. And you go, well, it's as powerful as an Xbox One, maybe not as powerful as a PS4 because they can't afford it maybe, or whatever. And we will open it up to, because of the power that it has now, we can open that up, which means that when things like Tomb Raider and Battlefront and Battlefield and Call of Duty are released, they can be played on here as well.
Yeah.
However, we've got such and such a feature which would make it better. And you go, holy Christ, that's really interesting, actually. How much is that? 300 quid. Boom, I'll have one. Thanks very much.
That's what they need to do. I mean, obviously, they're never going to stop making Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. And they shouldn't, because that's their name. And the day they stop making Mario is the day Activision, everyone should stop making Call of Duty. Because
yeah, it's what they're making their most money off.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's pretty much all the Mario games I still enjoy. And Zelda, I'm really looking forward to the next Zelda. And I'm hoping it doesn't get cancelled and put onto the new console. I want it to be, even if it's the last Wii U game that's ever released.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be the thing that gets forced into people's faces constantly. Remember, we make Mario. Remember, we make Zelda. We make Metroid and Smash Brothers. These 10 games that we've been making for 15 years, we still make them.
Yeah, but it doesn't
branch out.
It doesn't get rubbed in your face, does it?
Well, of course it does.
No,
Whenever I see Nintendo adverts, fucking Mario everywhere.
Yeah, but that's not down to them. That's down to usually it's down to Argos and stuff that are selling shit. But it's once every. Not even every year. It's every couple of years there's a new Zelda out. Mario, there's usually only one Mario game, and then you have your Mario and Sonic at the Olympics and all that shit. But that's no different than turning on the TV and it's Call of Duty, Black Ops, penis suckers.
Yes, but no one likes Call of Duty. Do you know why? Because they've been making too many of them.
But no, because they still sell. They're in the Guinness World Records for the most fucking.
Yes, because do you know who buys
franchise? Them? Idiots.
Well, I was going to say casual gamers, but yeah, you could box them in that, I suppose.
Well,
it's people who just say, what's advertised the most?
Here's a little something that'll piss you off, Dan. I was talking to a guy the other day, and I said, I've finally finished fucking Batman. And he's like, really? I was like, well, pretty much. I said, I've got 3 things left to do on the old mission wheel because I want a good ending, but pretty much done. He's like, yeah, he says, might go and trade it in next week or something like that. I was like, really? So yeah, I want it. I want FIFA. I was like,
yeah.
So you're going to go and trade Batman for FIFA? And he's like, yeah, well, not just FIFA. I was like, oh, thank God for that. He's like, yeah, I really want the new PGA game as well. It's like, so you're going to swap Arkham Knight for a football and a golf game that is exactly the same as last year's and the years before and the year before.
But that's the mindset of the casual gamer, though. It's just whatever appeals to them. It's because they're not invested in it, which is that's fine. If you just sort of like to go on and play a bit of Halo and then call yourself a gamer, fuck off. But you play a couple of rounds of Call of Duty or whatever, and you just say this is fine. I can get into this, and then you go and buy it, and then you trade it in, and you get FIFA, and you go, oh, it's alright, I can play this, and you trade that in, and then you get Madden,
then you get nothing,
ice hockey or something like that.
As soon as you leave the store with FIFA, it loses value by £49. That's why you can go in and it's you walk into game or something, it's pre-owned games from 50p, and you're like, wow, and it's FIFA.
Yeah, 2002, 2003, 2004.
It's just I don't. Call of Duty and stuff, at least they're still enjoyable games at the end of the day. You can go on, you can have a laugh, blah blah blah, but the only changes other than the slight graphical increase on FIFA and stuff is the players have changed because of transfers, but you can do that yourself on the last year's. Just go and buy Rooney and sell him to fucking Milan or whoever. When people stop buying them, they'll be cheaper. And if the new FIFA comes out and it's 20 quid, fair enough, but not 50 quid.
Well, it's EA Sports, isn't it?
No, you can't spell steel without EA.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Money. Is that money I hear?
No, that Mr. Whiskers has just come in for his tea, and he just kicks the cat out the window. Ooh, little bastard. Anyway, there's no optical disk drive apparently on the new console. But that's it. That's all I've got, Dan.
Well, that's fine. That'll do then.
What's coming up? Mister
Games, probably.
Games. We've got Rocket League. That's already up. And we've done some rare replay. So we've got some Perfect Dark, Battletoads, Pro-Am 2. We've got some Unreal tournaments.
Yeah.
Another part of Sporkling. Some more Left 4 Dead 2. We've actually got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in the old
My pockets
back
are full
catalogue.
then.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of stuff that we haven't started to delve into yet. I intend to do another Elite Dangerous video. Space Engineers I'm making quite a bit of progress with, so I intend to open that up to the viewing audience. Minecraft I still haven't even contemplated yet, mainly for the fact that the servers are broken and they just don't seem to want to work again, which is really annoying. So as soon as I can actually find the time, or probably hijack Liam for a couple of hours and see if I can fix it. On the other side though, we're going to be doing a new round of contacting new developers for Steam Greenlight, so we can get some more Greenlight Fortune games. And we've also got some... Well, actually no, I think that's it.
I think that is it, Dan. You've just pretty much read our entire schedule for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So on that, I'm going to say goodbye. You can hang around if you want, but I'm going.
No, I need a poo.
Bye then.